Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
You guys love when I do this, but what the hell? Let's kick off the show with a Philly movie memory from that song. Reese Witherspoon, Mark Wahlberg. I believe the movie was called Fear. Do you remember it?
Yes, that was a good movie. I was so young.
The song was Reese Witherspoon was so young, like that was
Like
one
a
of her.
child, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's this that was kind of a creepy movie. He was this super.
Kinda.
Well, super creepy. He was a super, what's the word for a crazy boyfriend? He was a crazy boyfriend, like really
It was
possessive.
like single white female, but
Yeah.
like the male version.
Psychopath.
There you go. Thank you, Joe. He was a psychopath, and it was a very good movie. Gotta say.
What's a sociopath?
Sociopath. Someone who watches a lot of crime shows, Kirby. I thought you would know that.
Yeah, it comes up a lot.
Comes up a lot.
Yeah.
You want me to Google sociopath?
The official.
I think you have to be a bit of a sociopath to be a psychopath. I could be wrong.
Same path is what you're saying?
I don't know. They're on a path to somewhere.
Yeah. Never good. Doesn't sound good, does it?
All I know is I don't think it's a good thing if you're called a sociopath.
No.
Yeah.
No,
or
I
a psychopath in that.
absolutely.
Same breath.
Is socio more narcissistic? You know what I mean?
Sociopath.
More into yourself. Like psycho is almost like.
Lacks empathy for others, impulsive behavior, attempting to control others with threats or aggression.
Yes.
Yeah. I definitely think that plays into
Yeah.
to the psychotic.
Sure, serial killers, like anybody who's, it's not a good thing.
Mark Wahlberg was pretty young in that movie too.
You don't hear it put,
Yes.
you don't hear it put in ever in a positive term. Like, what's up? What's Aubrey like? Well, he's a bit of a sociopath, but otherwise he's a great guy.
Outside of that.
The other side of that, you just don't hear that come up very often. 92.1 City, Winnipeg's rock station, PJK on a Monday morning. Wow, Joe, we got a little bit of rain.
Yeah, more than expected. We went into the weekend. They were calling for a shot of rain on Sunday, and it just kept coming and coming. And then it got really hard for a while, the rain, and then it continued, and it stayed all night, and it's going to shut off at about noon. Crazy.
Can I tell you something, Kirby? I thought of it on the weekend, and it was a super Joe thing to do. It was subtle, but it was like I love it because on Friday, as we were leaving the building, it's that small talk. Hey, what are you up to now? Why, hello, and Aubrey, what are you doing? I'm like, you know what, Joe? I'm gonna go wash my truck. It's way overdue. It's time for me to wash the truck. It's just getting dirty inside, so I'm going to get it detailed. And Joe's like, well, just so you know, it's gonna rain on Sunday. Just so you know, it's gonna rain. It's gonna rain on
That's
Sunday.
what Joe's good for, Matt. He knows the forecast ahead of time.
Well,
He didn't listen.
It was his way of telling me that just so you know, you
Could
might
have
not
saved
want
them
to.
$20.
But the inside needed to be cleaned, and I didn't feel like doing it, and it just needed it. Even though it rained, I had to get some of the gunk off.
Yeah.
It's okay, Phil. I don't take Joe's advice either.
No.
We know.
No, we know.
Philly Joe Kirby
Philly Joe and Kirby.
podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Call the Bone phone 780-BONE. Brought to you by Auto Gallery of Winnipeg.
Hi guys, this is the Welsh Dragon calling. Saturday was my birthday. I turned 68 and I had a great time. They had pay-per-view on Saturday, so I watched that and day went all right. See you later. Goodbye.
Guessing the WWE Crown Jewel pay-per-view. 68.
Welsh Dragon, I
He
wouldn't have
sounds
guessed.
a lot younger,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Not that sometimes, voice doesn't give away age, but
When I think about pay-per-view, I think about the time where my dad, like whenever we would order something back in the day from pay-per-view, didn't you have to plug into the dial-up line or something like that?
we've
internet?
advanced, Kirby.
No, I know. That's what I remember. This big cord running across, if we were going to order something off a pay-per-view, we had to plug into the internet.
I don't know. That's never happened to me in the city, but that
well-
might have been a country thing. It might have been. No,
It's
if I'm
very
being serious.
small town Alberta.
It might have been back in the day when you dialed up, right?
Yeah.
It took a little longer for the smaller towns to advance technology-wise with that stuff, but
That could be. I
this
don't
is a
remember
premium live event, so you can still order now, via your cable package in 2024, or you just stream the WWE network. And I don't know, but the Welsh Dragon, happy birthday!
Yes.
that. No doubt. Attaboy. Use your turn signal.
Hi, Philly. Hi, Joe. Hi, Kirby. My name is Brent. Been listening for Oh my gosh, since you guys have been on the air. Anyway, I have a big bone. All you people out there that just figure we know you're changing lanes or turning or who knows what the F you're doing, really. Use your turn signals. You know, it's not that hard to do. Even stupid people can do it. My son's 4. He knows how to turn on his turn signal. LOL, LOL. Have a great day.
Listen, I've got phone problems your 4-year-old could probably help me with as far as apps and everything else go. I'd like to talk to him.
That's a decent slogan, though. Even stupid people can do it. That's well said as far as turn signals. Okay, this call goes back a little ways, but we talk about a lot of things on this show, and it's not uncommon for somebody to look for an update.
Yeah, guys, a while back we were talking about leg cramps at night and everything. I suggest you try eating bananas, bring up your level of potassium. So, hey, I was just wondering if that was helping you guys or not. And Philly, I'm just curious, is raising your level of potassium starting to make your legs bendable or not? Anyways, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
I had a banana.
Gonna be perfectly honest, I appreciate all the advice as far as bananas and such go, but I have not increased the amount of bananas or potassium that I eat. I apologize. I'm one of those guys. Yeah, I should start
I'll bring
eating
you
bananas.
in one. I had one this morning already.
Joe and I are a banana a day people.
You are, eh?
Yeah.
I like
put
apples.
one
I'm
in
an
my
apple.
And look at us.
Smoothie. Joe eats it raw.
All right, I'll get on it. Sorry, there's always apples around the kitchen. I just don't grab one and bring it to work. But it sounds like it's a good idea for my unbendable legs.
You know what? Somebody's buying the bananas at 7-Eleven at the front.
Yeah, they've always had bananas.
I know,
at 7.
and I wonder who buys these.
And yet they've been complaining about theft, right?
Yeah.
Do you think anybody's grabbing the bananas at the front? No, not at all.
Check it out. Showing their bag.
I
That
hope
bags
they
of
get leg
chips.
crabs.
bananas. $10 a banana.
Taquitos from behind the counter, but they're leaving the bananas.
Gina from the Cape. You'll remember her from last week. I think, did she call just the once or a couple
Yeah.
of times?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, gang, it's Gina from the Cape. Hey, Philly, not to be confused with Gina from the Cape. Anyways, that movie changed my whole name life, and I haven't lived that down for a while. Anyways, it is Gina. And Kirby, let you know my quick backstory, I say Gina from the Cape because I am from Cape Coppermine, the best area in the world. Guilty probably knows where it is because it is right by Granite Hills Golf Course. So I would like to say I want to jump in on that golf tourney, and never mind the virtual crap. We're going to do an actual golf tournament. Kirby, you got me as your partner, girl. We're going to hose those guys and show them how it's done in the golf world. All right, guys, take care. See you later. Bye.
And
I
that's-
love it.
So we got Karen with a Y, Gina from the Cape,
Yeah, Gina, not Gina.
and Kirby.
And Gil.
And
And
guilty.
wait, you had Sir Rodney said he wants to
right.
play.
Vinny,
If he can climb a fence.
if there's a fence he can hop.
This tourney's really shaping up, let me
Well,
tell you.
here's the best part. You're the one that's going to have to put it together since you
I know.
verbalized
like, how
that.
did this? And then people are saying they don't want the virtual version. They
No.
want the real deal, and I understand. But we're gonna have to wait until next summer.
You've got all year now to plan this. That's
you
better
know.
for you.
Yeah, more time is better, Joe. Yes.
If you know anything about Kirby, she loves planning.
Why do I feel like Joe's going to get hauled into helping
No,
out?
Joe's busy.
Joe's funding it.
Yeah.
Time change over the weekend. Lisa would like to comment.
Right on, the wonderful time change. It's on Sunday time. Fall behind. Bring it. We got to turn the clock 1 hour behind. But I listen to Hard Man Shine. Usually tells that. Cheers. Yeah.
Save me. Hey, in my eye.
Is that Lisa's man?
No, that's her. That's her singing.
Yes.
She's got a good voice. We've learned that about Lisa.
Well, she's got a lot of octaves there,
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Sorry. I thought she went really deep. I didn't know.
You know what's great is she's got the new slogan for daylight saving time. Just bring it. I loved it.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
If you have an event that needs an auctioneer, Shalinda Kirby.
No.
Just text us, 762-555. She's thinking about starting a business, but she wants to gauge the interest as far as the live auctioneer business industry goes. Because, kudos to you, Curbs, you were emceeing the Rainbow's Edge Gala on the weekend in support of the Rainbow Resource Center. And like we've all emceed gigs where they ask you to put on the live auctioneer hat as well. And then we do, I know Joe as well, we do events where they have an actual professional auctioneer in the house. So we've, it goes both ways, but they asked you to do the live auction on the weekend, and we want to know how it went.
Well, I did get the stamp of approval from Mayor Scott Gillingham. He had messaged me on Instagram after.
That's crucial.
Because we're friends on Instagram, him and I.
I remember that
Pals.
setup. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to ask him if he would.
Well, because
remember?
I was upset that he was following Joe and not me.
I felt it was like a high school moment where you get a friend to ask if the boy likes you or the girl likes you. That was it, because I had to go to the mayor and say, "Listen, Mayor, if you could do me a favor." and you know what? What do you want? What kind of favor do you go to a politician with? Could you just follow my friend Kirby here on Instagram? She's a little jilted.
It's just a little ask, but yeah. So, anyways. I mean, he said I did pretty well. I'm going to be honest, guys. I blacked out during the whole entire thing. I don't remember what was going on, but I had...
It's a lot happening. It's fast. It's fast moving. And if you're not a pro at it, it's a lot to keep track of.
That was the only part I was nervous about.
Well, none of us in this room do the 55. We'll start the bit again. 55, 55. We don't do that.
I didn't even bother with the voice.
No.
I was going to try the voice because I tried. This is the thing. The day before, if you could have been a fly on the wall in my apartment, I had been watching YouTube videos of people doing live auctions. I was looking up different phrases to use. And so I was practicing out loud. And my cats were there. And that's,
I'll tell you what.
Did they bid on anything?
Did they? Yeah, they won. They won a trip for two.
To the vet for their annual checkup.
Yeah, so I thought it went pretty well, but I don't think I want to do it again. I'm going to be honest.
I knew quite a few people that were at the event, and they all said you did a fantastic job, even with the auction. But I do remember hearing the clip of... It was like 4,300 over here, over here, over here, 4,300 over here, over here, over here. And I just knew you'd be pointing out at that person, calling them out, over here, over here. That's good, though. You raised a lot of money, over $700,000 overall for the event itself. Good on you, Kirby.
It was a fantastic evening, honestly.
Over here.
Over here.
Where are you? Where's the desserts? They're over here. The bathrooms, over here.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
In 10 minutes, a brand new feature here with PJK on 92.1 City, Winnipeg's rock station. I can't contain myself, the excitement around the building with this new feature, the Entertainment Rundown.
Rundown.
I think that's what the intro says.
PJK Entertainment Rundown.
Boom.
Like Dwayne Johnson and Sean William Scott, the movie Rundown.
It's the Rundown.
Of course you guys know a movie called Rundown.
Oh, it was pretty good. It was not bad.
Rundown, baby.
Christopher Walken was in it.
It's going to be fun. And, because here's how this came to be. Lots of entertainment stuff comes up on a weekly basis. We love our movies. We love our TV shows, our music, our pop culture. So we thought, well, you know what, on Mondays, because most of there'll be a lot of stuff that typically happens over the weekend, the box office, everything else. So let's chat about it on Monday. The Entertainment Rundown.
Well, you really sell it, I gotta say.
Less than 10 minutes away. Kirby, get excited.
I just started my timer.
Okay. Hey, also of note, 92.1 City Facebook page, if you want to win Jets tickets. Number one team in the NHL right now. Just incredible start to the season. You could not have asked for anything better as far as new bench boss Scott Arniel.
Yeah.
And here we go. The team, a lot of question marks. I think there's a bunch of fans still, and me included, that are like, okay, we got to see this, after Christmas. We got to see this as we get closer to playoffs, because the Jets, not maybe to this point, but they have had good starts before.
Yeah, no, there's a whole thing on social media about the fact that it'll all come down to the playoffs. That's fine, but why not enjoy this ride while it's happening? Like even yesterday, it was a hell of a hockey game. If you're just looking for entertainment value going to the rink, yesterday's game would have been pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of goals, a great team in Tampa against the Jets. We came back from 2-1, right? And then they made a game of it. It was 4-4 at one point, and then boom. Like a lot of goals, a lot of guys scoring. We're getting scoring from all the lines. It's kind of cool right now.
59 goals for already for the Jets. That's the most goals for in the NHL. They're a plus 29 goals for, goals against differential. Just to give you an idea, the Florida Panthers, defending champs, they're a plus 7 right now. Goal differential.
I know Kirby brought that up earlier.
I'm all over the stats, you guys.
No, I know. The plus minuses is your favorite stat.
Well, if you want to win tickets, 4 tickets to tomorrow night's Jets game against Utah.
First time Utah's coming in as Utah.
Go to the Facebook page right now. All we're asking is show us a GIF of what did your weekend look like. Very simple. Facebook page. How are your bodies reacting to the time change? I know, Joe, you are not a fan of any time change.
No, I'd rather just be consistent, but at this point in my life, it doesn't really change much, right? I always have a hard time falling asleep on a Sunday anyway. It just was a little harder last night, I found, because it was later. Like, for example, having a pet. Pets don't know daylight savings time. Like, Stewie was up when Stewie got up. It was the same time every day.
Yeah.
And he wants to eat at the same time, that kind of thing, right?
So you got to get up.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep last night. Like, Sundays are always difficult, but I certainly couldn't sleep last night.
The Sunday scaries are like a real thing. It's like scientifically proven that Sundays are hard for people to fall asleep.
I don't know. I'm not scared of anything. I just
That's
can't
what they're
sleep.
called.
Oh, that's the scaries?
Yeah.
Well,
Lying there, I'm so scared.
I gotta say, for me, it was great. It was dark, nice and early.
oh, yeah. By
Okay.
5:20.
I was fast asleep by 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah.
You missed Murder, She Wrote after 60 minutes. Wow.
Hey, you save that TV talk 5 minutes from the entertainment rundown, baby.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Yeah, for your blood work this week, let Kirby do the blood. Yeah,
What do you think I am, an Olympic athlete?
Joe's not worried about getting busted
No,
for
I want your
steroids.
urine. That'll be
That's
great.
urine. Yeah.
Oh, what did we find? Some estrogen. Your estrogen levels are a little high.
Well, you were talking about getting your blood tested and you're eating chocolate all morning. Mm-hmm. And so I thought maybe I could stand in for you. I've had enough veggies over the weekend. Should probably show up pretty good.
I've
brought
had
in
more chocolate in the last month.
Yeah. Well, I brought in my wife's like, get this out of here, please. Because what we have in our house right now is both boys. Now that they're getting older, they walk, like they go out for Halloween like heavy duty. So they both brought giant sacks of candy into the house. And then we have that. Plus we had leftovers from the candy that we were giving to the trick-or-treaters. So we have chocolate, like Lily's little chocolate bars everywhere in the house, chips. And my wife's like, you got to get some of this out of the house.
Oh.
So I brought a whole bunch in, and I apologize because Joe and Kurt, well, I guess both
this
of
bag.
you. That's a big bag. That's one of those Ziplocs that would normally have
That's a
steaks.
freezer bag.
Yeah, it's a freezer bag.
You know, it's a little low end, though. No arrow bars.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Now we know her favorite. I didn't know her favorite was arrow.
Wow.
Did you?
Free is my favorite.
Joe's been dipping in there like
That's
a
a very
hummingbird at a
oh,
feeder.
Yeah. That's I've been described as before. A hummingbird.
Yeah.
It's just light and buzzing around.
What an analogy. Joe the
know why I
hummingbird.
thought of that,
I was
but,
thinking more of a seagull or a raven, a big
Yeah.
raven.
Vulture. I've been going after those chocolates like crazy.
You can tell
Okay.
how Philly views you and how I view you.
Yes,
I think you're a
thank
beautiful
you.
hummingbird.
I had no idea that Kirby was an arrow bar person. I just learned that just now. So, Joe, I'm going to see if I can guess your chocolate. Well, you kind of gave it away off air. Kit Kat.
I love Kit Kats. I love Caramilks. I really like Mr. Biggs. I like O. Henry's. I like
Caramilk.
coffee crisps now. Like this time of year, though, really, I have no willpower.
No, it's hard.
You know what I find interesting? You like coffee crisps, but you don't like coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
Well,
yeah.
they don't taste much like coffee, do they? Coffee, Chris?
I think they
A
do.
little, I guess.
Touch of
The
coffee.
smell.
Not
It's
really.
got the
Yeah.
scent.
In my experience, people who don't like coffee don't like the taste of coffee.
I'll tell you how many nights I've said, no coffee, Chris, after 8 o'clock at night. It'll keep me up all night.
I would love a coffee, Chris, but it tastes too much like coffee. Yeah, no.
What about you, Phil? What's your favorite?
I'm Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. If you told me you're on a deserted island and you can only pick one chocolate bar, it's going to be Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
It was not a hard decision. All you have to do is look at the Ziploc bag and tell me how many Reese's products have you seen in that bag. None is the
That's
answer.
right.
I feel like he rated it before he gave it.
I
to
will
us.
say this: you brought in the quality.
They're not bad.
A lot
That's
of
decent.
no. That's a good mix because some people outside of the arrow, but most people when they bring the stuff into work, they're not bringing in their wanted list stuff.
Yeah, usually it's like Tootsie Rolls and like gum and garbage they don't want, right? But
How
no.
do we feel about Mars bars, though? Because it doesn't seem like anybody is picking on those in this room.
That's old school.
It's a good bar.
Yeah, it's old
Yeah?
school. I just haven't dipped in yet enough.
To
but
me, a Mars bar is a lower end Snickers. Like Snickers is like
What is the difference between the two?
there's like nuts and stuff in a
in
a
Snickers and Mars is just more of a nougat.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
a plainers. I
I agree.
like a naked Snickers, a Mars bar.
Yeah, you would have thought they would have done better with Mars, but they're still investigating.
That's PJK Extra.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Philly Joe and Kirby's Entertainment Rundown.
Listen to that. The
Okay.
rundown, baby. Okay, I'll go first. The Penguin, episode 7, aired last night. You guys know I'm a big fan of this show on Crave. I've been yapping about it for a while. I may have convinced Joe.
Yeah, I'll get into it.
You're gonna? Okay, I highly recommend it. It's so good. It's been creating tons of buzz, the show, with critics now saying that Colin Farrell should be getting award attention for his portrayal of the Batman villain, the Penguin. Also, Christina Milioti as Sophia Falcone has been getting a lot of praise for her acting. It's currently at 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Final episode of this opening season, inaugural season, goes on Sunday. And there was some speculation on social media that we're going to see Batman show up at some point, and the creators of the show are saying no. No Batman.
It's interesting how a lot of these new streaming shows are only doing the 8-episode story arcs now instead of even the 13.
And people, sorry, Curbs, people bitch about it, including me. Like, come on, give me a few more episodes.
Right.
Give me some longer episodes.
Some are even 6. Like,
Yeah.
I just finished
Yes.
watching a show that wrapped up in 6 episodes, but I thought it was really well, done in that 6-episode series.
Mm-hmm.
Do I go next?
You should. It's the rundown.
It's the rundown. You can't have one story in a rundown. You better have something.
I do. Okay, teenagers today. Phil, you got a teenager now.
Damn teenagers.
I know. Okay, they're not the biggest fans of watching love stories in TV shows and movies
Especially
nowadays.
around dad. Gets awkward fast.
Well, we all had that moment with our parents growing up where you'd be watching something and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, an annual study found that over half of the teenagers that were, surveyed prefer watching stories about friendship rather than romance or sex in the media.
In the media or on
Like that they consume. Like the
like
TV or
TV
movies
shows or
and stuff,
movies.
yeah.
Okay, I could see that.
Quincy Jones, the multi-talented music titan, has passed away at the age of 91 yesterday at his home. But hear this. He put together Thriller, the album for Michael Jackson, which was absolutely huge. Worked all the way
Yeah.
back with guys like Old Blue Eyes, Frank Sinatra, and of course was the godfather behind We Are the World. He was the conductor that kept all those celebrities intact. It's absolutely an amazing story. Started off running with gangs in the south side of Chicago and rose to become one of the first black executives to thrive in Hollywood and music. 28 Grammys, an Emmy, and an Academy Award.
Wow.
For a guy that was well loved by fans, but also his colleagues. Quincy Jones passing away at the age of 91.
Rest in peace. I mean, he was it for a while.
Yeah,
though.
man.
I mean, his whole career, really. Okay, that was successful. I like the rundown. So far, so good. You guys did really well. And
Thanks, Phil.
Can I give you just one side note today? because here's a guy that would have had a whole different kind of party going in. It's Sean P. Diddy Combs' 55th birthday today as he's incarcerated.
Oof.
No birthday
I don't
party
think there's
today.
a party for him. No.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve one.
No, that is the PJK Entertainment Rundown.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
You know, we just did the Entertainment Rundown, and
Yeah.
I can't believe that I didn't mention that Ralph Machio turned 63 today. The
Yeah.
Karate Kid.
Yep.
To honor him, I think we should all try the crane kick here in studio this morning.
The crane
The
kick?
famous kick that he did to get to win the tournament.
I could do it.
I think you could, Kirby.
I mean, I've never seen it, but I could do it.
Why couldn't you just do the car wash thing with the wax on, wax off thing?
That might be easier and more realistic.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Don't know if you have a hobby or had a chance to take advantage of your hobby over the weekend, because the weather was pretty good up until yesterday when it started pouring. But I read this article about it's actually a survey that was done about dating psychology and the most and least attractive men's hobbies to women. So if you're out there and you're single and you're looking at a profile or psychology-wise, the most attractive and the least attractive men's hobbies.
Can I try to
women.
guess a couple of the
Which
least?
one, you want to go least
Hobbies.
first?
Kirby, you go ahead. You're the.
Honestly, I wouldn't
I
know
would
where to
guess.
start.
I would
There's
guess
so
video
many
games.
things.
I would guess video games is the video games would have to be least attractive, even though I play plenty of video games.
The video games is not in their top three.
Whoa!
I think it's probably because it's become so
Yeah.
normalized. Like it's like any other hobby.
Everybody does it now.
Yeah. As
everybody
long as it
plays
doesn't
vids.
consume your life, then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to say, because when you hear these answers, they've been quite normalized in today's society too, I think.
Okay.
Like arguing online.
Well, that is very unattractive.
Women do not find that
That's a-
sexy.
That's a hobby.
Like if I Google somebody's name and I see that they get in fights with people in their Facebook comments.
Wait a minute. Hobbies: ping pong, fishing, and arguing online.
But you see it. You see it with your own buds sometimes. I mean, there's a lot of political people debating on a day-to-day basis, right?
That's true.
So arguing online, adult movies,
Adult
or streams
entertainment
is number 3 in there. Porn
They
is in
still
there.
have a stack of VHSs. I'd be a little concerned.
Yeah,
from Union Video.
yeah.
What
So
is this VHS
porn
player for? I like to watch my old tapes.
and gambling. Believe it or
I
not.
could see gambling if you have, especially if it's a habit that consumes.
Sports gambling.
Yeah, if you bet on the odd game, I don't think, right? But if it
But
consumes
if it,
you,
and like you're banking on that money, that's another thing I've seen.
fantasy pools, like
Like-
you're just absolutely
Losing it because you lost. like
fantasy football.
It's just
That's why you shouldn't have joint accounts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The most attractive, believe it or not, knowing a foreign language is right up there.
Oh yeah, if you can speak different languages.
I think that about everybody in Manitoba that went to French immersion. I'm just like, I wish I had that opportunity.
Yeah, well, that's me over here.
I'll tell you, I can't tell you the amount of times
You're
that
so
I've
attractive, Phil, because
I've
of
wanted
that.
to
It's hard.
sleep with a woman because she had French immersion when I was younger. That was really playing a musical instrument.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and believe it or not, cooking and woodworking.
Yeah.
Woodworking was on the list.
You know what? Because I'll tell you, it's handy. Yeah, if you can do some woodworking, that means that you're pretty good with like other wood.
Great analysis. Great analysis, Kirby. That's why we go
So
to you.
good, Kirby.
If you
That's,
can do
well thought out.
working,
That was
you
great.
can do other stuff. I was going to say that if you can build a deck, that's an attractive feature. That's
There
what
you
I
go.
like. There's nobody.
It doesn't matter. Go back to the general statement
Let's
over
go
here.
back over here.
That was good. Just,
Woodworking, you can do stuff.
That's it.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
You mean to tell me, Kirby, that if I say to you, sweep the leg, you have no idea what I'm talking about?
No.
Couple of people on the Boston Pizza text line incredulous that Kirby has not seen Karate Kid.
Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi, Daniel LaRusso, Johnny Lawrence, the whole crew. Of course, this became a topic earlier this morning because it's Ralph Macchio's birthday today. I believe he turned 63. I mean, that is one of the pinnacle movies of my childhood, Karate Kid. It's one of the first movies I believe I saw in the theater.
Oh, really?
I think so.
1984.
I know it means a lot to a lot of people. And to be honest, I feel like culturally, like pop culture wise, I feel like I've missed out on like the references to the waxing off and the waxing on.
Yeah, you have.
And whatever other references you guys have made about that movie.
It's shocking information this morning. And the good news is this is why we started the Not So New movie review, because these things used to come up about other movies.
Mm-hmm. Here's the difference. This movie right here, once you see The Karate Kid, and it was a great movie. It was a great movie. You're going to fall in the rabbit hole. Then it's Karate Kid Part 2. Okay. Then it's Karate Kid Part 3.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to make you watch the next Karate Kid because Ralph Macchio was not in that one. He didn't return for that one, I do believe.
Well, I don't think I'm falling down any rabbit hole in these movie
you're
reviews,
gonna love them.
because if I haven't fallen down the Terminator or the Alien
Karate Kid's
rabbit
different.
hole.
This one's got a new one coming out in 2025, though.
A show or a movie?
No, movie. Karate Kid Legend.
And did you mention the Cobra Kai TV series?
I have not.
That's
the
awesome.
show. Okay.
That's very good too.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just start with the original.
No, you're doing them all. You're going to take. So this is a special edition of the Not So New movie review long weekend edition.
Yes.
So you're going to do all
binge
all the material. We'll even make you do was it Will Smith's kid reprise the role?
Jaden Smith.
Did he not do a Karate Kid? I think he did.
Some. You don't have to watch that one.
No, you don't watch that one. But you're watching the Ralph Macchio one. Are you into a Not So New movie review this weekend?
I have time this weekend, yes.
Okay. The schedule is free.
Oh, you're going to love it, Curbs.
I'm so excited for you.
Okay, somebody says I have to wax on before I wax off.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's the way it worked in the Mr. Miyagi.
Did I get it wrong?
Yeah, you waxed off before you waxed on. And let's be honest. If you've ever cleaned a car, you got to put the wax on first before you can wax it off.
Someone
I
says
thought this movie was about karate, not like
it is, but it's
detailing
how
a
he
car.
trains him.
It's the training.
Oh, okay.
It's the training. Come on. Somebody says, oh my God, Ralph Macchio was my crush when I was younger.
Yeah, sure. He was on every Teen Beat magazine back in the day, remember?
And Elizabeth Shue is in this. There's a great romance in it. Is it Elizabeth Shue?
You could be right. You know more about this stuff than me. I forget these things.
Well, the romances in my
She was
experience
the girl.
of these movies that I've watched aren't always a focus point of the storyline. So.
No, I think you're going to love it.
No, this is not one of those mindless action movies that we've
Curbs.
given you.
It's
Is
a
it,
real.
am I going to cry?
You might.
Is it not a coming of age?
Oh, yeah.
Is it a heartfelt
You might cry.
Yes.
You
moment
might
at
cry.
the end?
You might cry.
Elizabeth Shue was in it, by the
Yeah,
way.
good
She's the female love interest.
Yeah.
Of the
And he
Karate
gets
Kid.
bullied, Kirby. You love this kind of story.
Mm-hmm.
It's the redemption of a guy that gets bullied.
He gets to stand up for himself?
Yeah, oh, yeah, he
Yes.
learns.
Aw.
He's getting picked on at school. Like,
Now
it's got
tell me.
everything.
Now tell me you're not going to rent 2 and 3 as well.
For more Philly Joe and Kirby, log it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.